wore that jersey. Just now it's being a family man, a father. We thought our time was, ready to look somewhere else and find a new home and find a new place to grow our family. And like I said, I'm so grateful to be here and so happy to be a part of this team.
So the question I have off the back of that is, he said 1 or 2 years off the top, right? And I saw our boy Bunkus talking about this a little bit today on his show about just the blame that falls for not getting anything out of this on Shanahan, and the belief of like, we're going to keep going back to the well and like everybody's safe and we're not going to. Was that 2 years ago or was that 3 years ago that he said that?
Sure, it was 3 years ago. I think 2 years ago.
Was 2 years ago was Boston or no? 2 years ago was when they lost to Florida in the second round. Or no, that's right. 3 years ago.
No,
I guess,
it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago was Boston.
7 games. Pasternak overtime, cut to the backhand off of Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
I don't remember that well,
what is your question?
So, how much of the blame for the way that this is perceived is on Brandon Shanahan? And that's what I want to know. Because I think Mitch is taking it really tough right now, and I'm part of it, fully admit that. But I do think that the outgoing president and his lack of, not lack, but like just not giving in to trading him and wanting to be right about this really cost the Leafs some futures here.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to be right. He'd rather lose and be right than, be wrong and trade him, which is really frustrating as a fan.
Yeah, it takes a big man to admit that the plan hasn't worked and
Correct.
The whole sunk cost thing and just eat it like that. I definitely think that is a part of this. I think a good lesson is, and this isn't just trades and hockey. This is like, if someone doesn't want to be in your life and you're trying to force it and making sacrifices to make it work, doing everything you can, it's like, it's not, you can't control people. It's not meant to be. Mitch didn't want to be here, and it probably should have done what the Islanders did with Dobson. Dobson started to press the Islanders. I want more. I got a new agent. They just said, all right, we don't need you then. Move on, couple of picks, and the Islanders have a fresh wave of players coming. The Leafs could have done something like that.
Like, how would, for example, Kelly McCrimmon have handled it? Like, if you look back, if it was like him in Vegas in the Bizarro world where he's like not committing to being there, there's no trade, like, he would have been traded 100%. 100%.
To get back to your original question, the majority falls on Brendan Shanahan. The majority. And I mean, he's gone now. But yeah, this was all under his watch. So yeah, he's got to be a big boy and wear it, and he did. He lost his job, but he wanted to believe in this group to the point where he doubled and tripled down on it. And at what point should they have seen some red flags? At what point should they have had more concern about where this was headed? Brad Treliving is relatively new to this whole thing. So, yeah, he's been here now a couple of seasons, but clearly he doesn't wear it like Brendan Shanahan because he's still here and he's getting an opportunity to fix a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
But I look at the behavior of children, and I don't necessarily look at the child first. I'm like, where are the parents, and what's going on with the parents, and what are the parents saying, and what are they doing to rectify this behavior?
That's a bad dog. Wonder what happened with that dog.
So ultimately, yeah, I think for sure Brendan wears a lot of this. And at what point should they have identified where the tea leaves were telling you this was heading? That's, to me, the miss. Is that there were concerns behind the scenes, and I don't know whether you wanted to face them head on or you just brushed them under the carpet.
I will always be amazed that, like, we've talked about the accountability and lack of accountability. The fact that everybody came back after Montreal will always stick with me. Mm-hmm. That Dubas was still around, Keefe was still around, all 4 of the core guys, Morgan, everybody just got to, and listen, they went past the first round of the playoffs the next year, understand that, first time, whatever. But that year, when you still would have been able to trade Mitch, you still would have been able to trade Willie. Like, I'm not even saying it had to be Mitch, but it just had to be one of them at some point. And the fact that everyone came back after Montreal was insane to me. So that's maybe where it started.
You know, so when I coached with Sheldon, and I say coached loosely, you know, I helped him do the coaching with the Marlies. I remember being in a playoff series, and after the first game, we had gotten walked through the neutral zone, and he wanted to change our forecheck to something we hadn't done all season long, like game 2. And I was like, I don't.
And you told him you're crazy.
No, well, actually, yes, I did. I told him, you know, that makes no sense. We're overreacting, whatever. And his point was just that in a short series, you don't have time to figure out if it was just bad luck that your strategy didn't work, or you have to make the adjustments and assume that that was real information back to you. And it's funny that so many years they thought the Leafs just got unlucky in the playoffs. Tavares' injury happened the one year. We couldn't get the goaltending this year. You know, they excused it away when they got the same information over and over. Yeah, they just didn't fall. Next time they'll fall. Like, at some point, you had to have made the call and said, make a pivot.
Collectively, they had character flaws. It's like, you know, sometimes you look at marriages and there's like positives and negatives, right?
Yeah.
But
Sometimes
there's a balance.
sometimes they work against each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But all of them had that same flaw.
We kept saying, can you tape grit to this core?
No.
How many times we had that conversation?
Oh my God.
Four guys making $50 million, and every single one, come playoff time, want to go around you and not through you.
And then you bring in all these guys you want to throw body checks in the fourth line and go, there we go. I'll fix it. It's like, no, those guys aren't on the ice enough in big moments for it to matter. So.
Did you want to hear anything from Crimmon about the trade at all? Yeah, okay. I put 3 in there. Well, let's do the first one, Derek, on the process to trade for Mitch. Clip 1.
You know, with respect to Mitch, we've had discussions with Toronto, you know, going back a long time where we would have been interested in acquiring Mitch Marner. We had discussions at the trade deadline that were initiated by Toronto where they were trying to do a trade that involved another team. We weren't able to make it happen. When Mitch indicated, or it appeared that Mitch would be going to free agency, he was our target. He was the player that we wanted. And again, tying into why would you do that trade in advance? We wanted to eliminate other teams. We wanted to be able to create a one-on-one relationship with his representatives in terms of trying to do a contract, and that's how the deal came together.
I've gone on record to tell you guys that if it was me, I would have given Mitch Marner a window at the end of the summer to start the season, but I would have given them a hard date to say, I cannot let you walk out the door for free here. I need, if you are not signing with us, I need 2 teams, 4 teams.